B.
Us.
N.
Go. Burp, burp, burp. Welcome back, everybody, to Rank a Bone, the one and only podcast where you get to see all your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog games get ranked, pitted against each other in brutal one-on-one combat. Just kidding, it's a free-for-all, of course. I'm your host, Bander SN. Joining me, as always, the master of all things emeralds, Joey Spicy Fries.
Hi there, Joe. How you doing this evening?
I forgot my light. You can't see me. There we go, much better. I'm doing great. And, how are you?
I'm good. Can't wait to talk about this game. I've been ready for it for a while now.
I'm so ready for this game. I'm excited to be back. This is awesome. We of course reviewing and ranking Sonic Adventure 1, released for the Dreamcast in I believe 1999. I do not have the info sheet in front of me. Actually, wait, yes I do. Wait, no, I closed it. Never mind. I don't have any info in front of me. We're not prepared. We're doing it raw, just like this video game. Both Joey and I played the DX Director's Cut version of Sonic Adventure 1 because we do not have access to the original version without going through some weird hoops. We know that this is probably the worst version to play because of how the DX version was originally designed, and that if we wanted the best version, we would do the original Genesis version, not Genesis, Dreamcast version, but it's just not possible for us to do that, so we're going to have to make do with what we have. We promise it won't affect our decision-making process. You can trust us. We have integrity. That's what we have.
Integrity.
Let's start us with some quick facts about Sonic Adventure 1. Like I said, released for the Dreamcast as a launch title back in, I believe, 1998? Was it 98? 99?
You just said 99.
I really should have had these facts prepared. It was the first 3D Sonic game, unless you count Sonic Jam, which I discovered wasn't a thing today, at least on the Sega Saturn. And it was one of the first Sonic games to really feature a focused story. Playable 6 characters, each with 6 unique playstyles. It was a very pivotal game for the Sonic franchise. It was his first real transition to 3D, and Sonic's never been the same since. For a lot of people, this game is the downfall of the Sonic franchise, and for a lot of people, it was a good transition. Maybe not as good as the Mario transition to 3D, but still pretty good. And we're here to tell you our opinions about that right now. Joey, your initial thoughts about Sonic Adventure 1?
Well, like you said, for some it was the downfall. For some it was the good transition. For me personally, I feel like it was the great transition. We're now entering the world of 3D games, and it's so much fun. For each and every story to play, the adventure all the way around was lots of fun. From the hub world to the stages themselves, and for each character to play as.
Yeah, I think that this game has aged like a fine wine.
Okay.
For most of it. The game doesn't exactly hold up, obviously, to today's standards. There's a lot of glitches and stuff like that. Some of the playstyles aren't exactly as well thought out as others. I can think of 2 off the top of my head. But for the most part, I really think that this game, it's just so much fun to play. And even if it is not exactly, super challenging or the most, tight controls of a video game you could play, I just feel like the game just expresses what Sonic is in the best way possible, whereas a lot of later entries, when they tackle a story for Sonic the Hedgehog, they do it in kind of the worst way possible. And this is definitely a more positive entry in the franchise.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get to it. You're fine. Let's get to it. We're gonna go through each character's playthrough and the overall story. We're gonna do, our favorite levels, our favorite boss fights, just general things that we really enjoyed and disenjoyed. Disenjoyed, that's a word. Sound like Dylan.
That is a word.
And then we're gonna rank the series. We have a new segment as well at the very end of the thing. Hope you guys are excited for something fun having to do with music. And so let's start with the man, the myth, the legend, Sonic the Hedgehog story. Joey, what are your thoughts on Sonic? Because this is Sonic's transition to a 3D space. What did you think of Sonic's style?
I enjoyed his probably I would say his was my second favorite of the stories to play.
Ooh.
Of course, I love playing a Sonic. Yes, I know, interesting, right?
I'm, I'm
Second.
I legitimately can't think of. I mean, there's like 3 playstyles that I would consider pretty equal.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be shocked when you hear who my favorite was.
Does
but
the color purple have anything to do with that?
no.
Oh, you know, holy cow, Joey. Real quick, I forgot to do this. Right now, a lot of Extra Life charity streams are going on this week and next week, and I'm going to plug 2 right now. I don't know if this will ever actually happen or help anyone in any sense of the word, but the YouTube group called Kinda Funny is doing their Extra Life stream. Right now, they're doing the 24-hour stream, and I'm ripping my Kinda Funny shirt. Video games are cool, people. You've heard it here on this lovely purple fluorescent shirt. They're doing their 24-hour live stream charity event. And if you have extra money, just go ahead and donate it. It's for the kids. It's awesome. And their partner company and another company that I really enjoy watching their content from, Rooster Teeth, is doing theirs, I believe, next week. And theirs is always crazy awesome. It's, I believe, 48 hours of nonstop charity action. And I think last year they raised about $1 million, which is awesome. So if you have time to donate, check out the streams, watch, tweet, anything like that, please do. It's awesome. And it's something that Joey and I would hope to one day be a part of in terms of doing Extra Life marathon streams. Because at the end of this whole thing, when we finished all the Sonic games, we want to do a marathon and do a charity stream as well alongside of it of Sonic games. Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt you, Joey. Go ahead and get back to Sonic.
No, that's okay. Yeah, no, Sonic is definitely the go-to character to play as. Obviously because his name is on the cover. But, from Emerald Coast to Ice Cap to the very end of the game, it's just always fun to be that super speedy little blur of blue. And I enjoyed pretty much every level that he played through. And it's always fun. It's always entertaining to just speed through each and every level while enjoying the scenery, enjoying taking out the enemies, and the music behind it all just ties it in together.
The music in this game, I think we can put a stamp just with this statement, is fantastic. Sonic music's always been good. This one is the best so far. There's so many good tracks here. There's so much. Every character has a theme that just plays every time you get a chance to see them. And when they interact with each other, it's like, oh, here's Big's theme, here's Knuckles' theme, here's Gamma's theme. It's really cool. The music is awesome in this game. Cool if I go into Sonic?
Yeah, go for it.
Sonic's my favorite playstyle. I think it is what they've probably spent the most time on is Sonic's playstyle. He's the fastest. He has the most levels to play. I think every stage in this game is played 3 times. One by different characters, and Sonic obviously goes through the most stages. I think the only stage he doesn't go through is Hot Shelter, which I don't even think Tails or Knuckles goes through it either. I think it's just the back half of the team.
Tails didn't, and no, Knuckles didn't either. I think you're right.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's he gets the most playtime, and it's kind of a good thing because Sonic, I feel, has the most well-rounded moveset. He has the most interesting interactions with the level and the world itself.
Yeah, he gets power-ups through the games as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the characters get power-ups, but...
Well, yeah.
Thinking about back to his level design, he has a lot of the diversity in the levels that he gets. Some of them are very speed levels, some of them are a little bit more, like the casino level that's probably being shown in the background right now. You're going through pinball stuff, there's snowboarding, there's the plane sections. Sonic has a lot of really cool stuff that's going on for him. And I just think his moveset his playstyle is the most complete out of the 6. His controls aren't exactly as tight as some of the later entries, especially even considering Sonic Adventure 2. But overall, it's really fun. It's really fun to play as Sonic, even if it is a little janky.
Janky is a good word to use. No, but you're completely right. It's fun all the way through.
Moving on to Tails. Tails is awesome. I'm gonna start with Tails. I like how he is mostly just Sonic, but you can fly, and that makes a lot of the levels he plays really fun and unique, because you kind of go back through a lot of the levels you did as Sonic, like Windy Valley and Ice Cap, but more like you're racing Sonic, so you're trying to beat Sonic. And a lot of times you can just break the level, you can run wherever you want. It's really cool. It's a really fun way of doing that, of doing Tails style. And I think that this is definitively the best Tails gameplay that exists in Sonic. Not counting Heroes.
You could be right. No, you're most likely right. This is probably the best playthrough for Tails in any of the games.
Yeah.
Definitely fun to fly around the levels, do your own thing, explore, adventure.
He's fun to play with. He's broken, but in a fun way.
He's a fun kind of broken. He's Sonic's right hand man. You can't beat him.
Did you? Was this? Where does this rank in terms of your playstyles?
I would say he's my number 3.
He's my number 2.
Okay. Maybe number 3 and number 4. I don't know. I did love Knuckles, so
cool.
We'll get to that when we get to Knuckles.
I just also to further explain on Tails, this being the best Tails gameplay. This is Tails' best story. This is by far. I'm looking through SA2, Unleashed, Forces, and all the games prior. Sega has really not done anything with Tails in a very long time. They keep putting him back into the state of he is helpless without Sonic in terms of any combat scenario. If you look at Sonic Forces, he's just useless whenever he's confronted with an enemy. But in SA1, his character development was supposed to be he's able to do things without having Sonic there to be by his side. That's why he faces Eggman and saves the city on his own. That was part of Tails' story. And even in SA2, they go back on that, and it's really weird. Well, I know it's not that weird. It's Sega. They're incompetent.
They're inconsistent with some things, with most things.
Yeah. Moving on to Knuckles. And Knuckles has a more unique gameplay style, in which you're hunting for pieces of the Master Emerald. Mm-hmm. Joey, your thoughts. You start us off.
I'd probably have to rank him higher than Tails as far as how I enjoyed gameplay. I've always just loved Knuckles' format in a game, whether it's 2D or 3D, and here I enjoyed it the most just because he has his own form of unique, and I mean, like Tails flies, Sonic goes super fast. Knuckles is Knuckles.
Knuckles glides and digs.
Knuckles glides.
And raps. His theme is pure rap, and it's crazy. It's like a jazz rap. It's amazing. Yo, this is Knuckles. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the "oh no" meme, but that's where this thing came from, and that's what I love most about Knuckles.
I'm definitely familiar with the "oh no" meme.
Oh god, I played through Sonic's and I got to that fight and I'm just like, oh god, oh there it is.
Did you know that's where it was?
I had to refresh. It's been a while since I realized that's what it was until I played this, but yeah, when I saw it, I was like, that's right.
I was very ready for it. And I love that.
It's been a long time since I played Adventure 1, so I'll just say that.
Those character boss fights are just kind of dumb. They're way too easy. It's like some of the real boss fights are a little janky and kind of annoying. Yes, for it. But those ones, I mean, they're interesting, but at the same time, they're just so easy that there's not really a point to them. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Nothing.
I like Knuckles in this version. I think that his gameplay style, after you beat Sonic's story, it's so long that it's nice to have the 5 after stories be a lot shorter, and Knuckles is definitely not an exception. His story, his levels can really take a very short amount of time if you know what you're doing. This version is way better than the SA2 version, because you'll see in the SA2, you have to find each emerald in order before the next one will appear and show on radar. Well, it'll appear, but it won't show on radar, which makes that useless. And so in this one, you can see them all no matter where, or you can the radar will go off no matter how many you've collected, which is really nice. And I think that while it's not the most like deep of a gameplay style, it's still pretty fun to play, and it's a good evolution of what Knuckles was. I've always been in the camp that Knuckles should be more of a brawler in terms of his gameplay style.
Right.
Similar to what the Werehog does in Unleashed, which we will get to very, very late in the game. But yeah, overall, I mean, I enjoy Knuckles. He's definitely... I think he's my number 4. I think I would say he's my number 4.
Ooh, I'm interested to hear who your number 3 is.
Yeah, and he, that gameplay style moves on to Sonic Adventure 2. I really like his story. I think it's really, interesting and unique where he's kind of giving a self-reflection about his purpose in life and the reason why he guards the Master Emerald. And I think it's something that they definitely do not address ever again. This is the deepest Knuckles ever is. After this, he just becomes a moron and, like Tails, completely runs back whatever development he's had in the past. So, I wonder why they stopped really focusing on Tails and Knuckles. I wonder if there was something... it almost feels like Sega got some sort of edge to them after Sonic Adventure 1. Something came around, something dark, something red, something spiky and cocky, douchey almost. Something happened. Something changed. Anyway.
Something definitely changed.
So Knuckles' your number 3?
He would be my number 3. I'd have to put Tails below him. Knuckles at 3, Tails at 4.
He's my number 4, but Tails, Knuckles, and my number 3 are very close. With my number 5 and 6 much lower. So let's move on to Amy's.
Moving on to Amy.
This is Amy's. What's up?
I said, do you want to kick it off with Amy?
Yes. This is Amy's 1. No, she's playable in Heroes and technically playable in SE2 and Advanced, I think.
It's Advanced or Advanced 2, I believe.
I think I remember seeing her playable in Advanced when I was scrolling through the character select screen.
Okay.
I don't hate Amy's gameplay style, but she's too slow on walking speed, and she doesn't really do much. It's just kind of like a weaker version of Sonic and slower. It's kind of interesting. I like the idea that you have it's sort of like a almost jump scare kind of style, almost horror style, because you're being chased by Zero. Right. And once you learn how to hammer jump, it's a lot more fun. And her theme is awesome. It plays way too much, but it's still awesome. And yeah, I mean, I like it. It's not bad. It's just kind of not super memorable.
Right. Definitely not the best.
Yeah.
But still fun.
Yeah. I think the way I played through it was mostly just completely ignoring Zero, because I knew that Zero isn't really programmed to do much, because I've played it probably four or so times now on Amy's story, and I'm like, Zero, he doesn't touch you. He does, like, if you just walk away from him, he can't catch up to you. My favorite part in the entire story is when you're going up the spider elevator and Zero's still trying to jump after you, and you can see him jump really high. It's really funny.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, and the TV section. Hot Shelter is the best level for Amy. The TV section, when you're putting in the little TVs, and then all the TVs light up and it's Zero, and then he busts through the screen.
Oh,
It is that is a very well done part in this level, and it's something that Sonic Adventure does a lot better with the dynamic level design that Mario 64 doesn't do as well. Where it's like you have this kind of like emotional response to things that happen in the level, whereas with Mario, it's kind of from point A to point B, it's all pretty much the same.
Right.
Although
no, I'd have to agree with you on that, on the whole Amy. It being super fun, but not so memorable. I enjoyed it. It was a fun playthrough. Just not one that, out of the 6, would be up there for me.
Is this your number 6?
Yeah, I'd have to say she was 6.
It's my number 5. Like, it's below the 2, 3, and 4. Sonic is my number 1, like, by far. The 2, 3, and 4 are pretty close together in sort of like that that 80 percentile range. Amy is more of like a mid-70s.
Okay.
And then we can move on to my number 6, which is Big the Cat.
Oh, interesting. Well, let me kick it off because this is my number 1. It's
That's
Big
what
the
I
Cat.
thought. And I am. Are you? Can you ask Lindsay to feel your forehead? Are you okay? Are you sick? Do we need to call a doctor?
I'm not gonna wait.
Why is Big your number 1,
I'm not.
Joey?
Because Big is big and goofy, and his entire story was just chasing Froggy and fishing. Like,
I do love how disconnected Big is in this whole thing. I think that's hilarious. I'm not someone who finds Big super annoying. I mean, I don't even find Jar Jar that annoying, to be honest.
I mean, it was a goofy playthrough, no matter what, and I enjoyed it. Like, even at the end, when he's fishing Froggy out of chaos, and Sonic's just like, "You go, I got this," and Big's just like, "Oh, okay, bye."
Okay, Froggy.
Froggy, buddy.
I mean, I agree with you. It's a very unique thing, and it's very like goofy and funny in a way. I don't like the fishing mechanics, man. It doesn't overstay. It doesn't like stick around for too long. It's the shortest playthrough by far, but it's just, I don't know. I have a hard time with those fishing mechanics.
I didn't find any challenge in it at all. I thought it was pretty easy.
I don't know why. Once I upgraded, it was a little bit easier. But sometimes it just like it would just take like 2 minutes just to reel them in because it just like okay. Well, mate, how do you do the fishing?
How do I do it?
How do you do it? Teach me. I'm terrible at it.
This reminds me of a playthrough of Twilight Princess.
Is that when I taught you how to fish?
Yes.
I forget how that went, but we'll have to get to that when we do Zelda in review.
That's for another day.
That's for another decade.
But like I said, at this rate, no, I would have to say, in all seriousness, I'd probably have to make Big like my number 3. But jokingly, he's my number 1. He was fun. I enjoyed it all the way through, and he was funny as hell.
I look forward to doing Big's playthrough, but then I'm always okay. I'm like, it doesn't take that long. As soon as I do that first level, I'm like, you don't have to do this for that long. I like the fact that he has so many power-ups that you can go around and you can find all of them.
Oh yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, he's my number 6. It's one of his gameplay style is like, if they were ever to redo Sonic Adventure 1, I would look forward to seeing what Big's gameplay redone would be, because I feel like they could do a lot better with the control systems.
Definitely.
So it's not like it's a negative part. It's just that, I don't know, the controls just don't work. I don't know if that's a DX thing, but yeah. Although I have to hand it to Big. He spawned the greatest speedrun style I've ever seen with it, which is the 2-player Big Big fishing. Let's move on to the final gameplay style, which is the one that always surprises me whenever I play through Sonic Adventure 1, which is Gamma.
You want to start it off for us?
Sure.
Kind of alternate.
Gamma's my number 3. I really like Gamma's style. I think this is the best way of doing... I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it Gamma style. Tails and Eggman take this over in Sonic Adventure 2, and I find it way worse in Sonic Adventure 2. But here in SA1, because the levels are so much shorter and it doesn't like overstay its welcome, it's a lot more fun. It's mindless, it's super easy, but it's pretty satisfying, blowing up a bunch of things. His upgrades are cool. His story is, I think, the best story out of all 6. It is actually pretty gets pretty real after a while.
Yeah, it really does.
At the very end, where he commits literally robot suicide so that the bird that lives inside him can go on and live with its family, is pretty real and well written for a Sonic game. And that's why this story is such a actually good story.
No, it was great that he had a change of heart and saw what was wrong with everything. Yeah.
And I feel like Gamma is one of those, it's one of those kind of sad stories where Sonic doesn't really, the franchise doesn't really recognize Gamma at all anymore. I mean, if you were to ask someone who worked on Sonic, they'll probably know exactly who Gamma is. But as far as like in the stories that precede this game, succeed. Gamma's never really mentioned again, and it's just kind of sad. But it's also like pretty powerful when you like really think about the storyline. I mean, obviously as an adult, it doesn't really do much emotional response. But like looking at this and thinking about how a child would react to it, I'm like, this is actually really like touching in a way. Yeah, I like it. It's very different. It's a very unique playstyle, and that's why it's my number 3.
And that's fair. You're definitely right. It's a unique playstyle. I would definitely say the story is what hit home for me. Just to go from being a machine created to destroy Sonic to a feeling. I wouldn't say life form because he's still a machine, but
you reminded me that I always get huge parallels to Android 16 when it comes to Gamma. And then there's the whole Supersonic, Super Saiyan thing. You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here.
There's a connection there somewhere.
A lot of connections here.
Yeah, it was a fun playthrough. I put him at my number 5. I might even put him above Big at number 4, bumping everyone up the list. But I enjoyed him a lot. I will say that. Definitely not going to make it my number 6 though, because he was fun. More so fun than Amy.
There are a ton of glitches in this game. The game is janky as all hell. A lot of the physics are really weird, but it's just fun to play for some reason. It's one of those like video games can be kind of silly and goofy and just horrific at sometimes. There's some frustrating parts in this game, like even with Sonic, his Lost World, Lost Kingdom, whatever that level is pretty bad. Like some of the design choices in there are kind of like broken as all hell. But overall, it's really fun to play these characters. I look forward to playing each one whenever I do play through Sonic Adventure 1. And yeah. Do you overall like all 6 characters?
Yes, I do. They were all different kinds of fun to play. I would not say I dislike any of them.
If I ever do play this game again, I want to try to do a system where I mix it up so I'm not just doing front-loading Sonic at the very beginning. Because you know how you unlock other characters as you go through?
Right.
I want to do a system. I'm sure someone's created like a perfect way to play Sonic Adventure 1 with like a play Sonic through these levels, then play Tails, then play Knuckles, or something like that. And I think that'd be interesting to play. But
yeah, that would be cool.
What did you think of the hub world design? Did you like having hub worlds? How did that go for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I rushed to each stage, but I definitely wasn't staying in the hub world for too long. I enjoyed it as much as I could, though, while running around and looking at everything.
Would you prefer that the levels just go from level to level?
I kind of would have preferred that, yeah.
Okay, so
to go from the games that were designed like that to now there's a hub world. It's a different it's an odd transition for me.
I really like the hub world design. I think that it grounds the story in a way that I feel like other Sonic stories go a little bit too like extravagant for some reason. Because it's very focused. It's in this one area. It's almost basically takes place in a city that also has an icicle mountain, a desert, and a jungle all in the same area.
Right.
The jungle's obviously a little bit too crazy, but I do like having those areas to explore where you get little secrets and little bonus fun Easter eggs and stuff like that, like the guy you can pick up, the Chow eggs. We didn't do the Chow Garden at all. You didn't do the Chow Garden, right?
I didn't.
I briefly explored it a little bit, but we're not going to be touching the Chow Garden here or in Sonic Adventure 2. I like Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure 2.
I might do the Chow Garden in Adventure 2.
I'm not, but I'm gonna factor it into my score because I played the Chow Garden fairly recently, within the last 6 or so years. I don't know if that counts as recent. I know
Link loves the Chow Garden in Adventure 2, so that's probably going to be a factor for me, so I'm going to end up playing it anyway.
Cool. But I didn't feel like it should play a factor in Sonic Adventure 1's review because it's not as important. And I think it was added after the fact. Don't quote me on that.
I'm not gonna quote you on it.
Yeah, no, I like the hub world. I like having little secrets to explore. There's the emblems you can find. There's like different missions you can take on. Right. And I like how the story itself connects with itself. Like when you do Knuckles' casino night or Casinopolis. Is it Casinopolis?
Casinopolis, something like
Casinopolis? Is it Casinopolis? That's probably it. When you're doing Knuckles' Casinopolis and you leave, you see Sonic and Tails asleep because that's what was happening during their playthrough. When you get to Knuckles' interactions with Sonic, he says things differently than when you see him through Sonic's perspective, showing like, oh, this is how Knuckles is telling the story and this is how Sonic is telling the story to make them either one of them look better in how the things went down. I like that you get context for these characters and what they're doing based on where you interact with them in the game. And I feel like Sonic Adventure 2 kind of does this in a way, but... Hang on, I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Other games just completely drop the ball when it comes to these interactions, like looking at Sonic 06 and Sonic Heroes. In Sonic Heroes, characters will literally run into each other and they'll be like, hey, you, who are you? What are you doing? You want to fight? Let's go. And that's, all right, we're not fighting anymore. And it just doesn't make sense. Sonic Adventure 1 is the only game that does this in a really good way. That's fun. It works with the story. The story isn't super serious. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Chaos is an awesome monster. I'm sorry, we're going into story, by the way. Chaos is an awesome monster. I think he's one of the best major villains in Sonic franchise. I think he's looked very highly upon.
Right. I would agree.
I hate Chaos 4. It's the worst boss fight in the game.
Was that the one in the water?
Yeah, they have to do 3 times.
Yeah, that one was pretty annoying.
It just doesn't work. I think all the Eggman boss fights are really fun.
I love the Eggman boss fights. Those are probably what I enjoyed most.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was... I think at the time, it was a very promising transition for Sonic. I think there were problems with the game. I don't think it can be looked at as highly as Mario 64. But it's really cool. And it marks a time in which Sonic actually had a bright future in 3D, in the 3D space and with storytelling. And I think that it's a shame what happens afterwards.
Sega dropped the ball further on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wonderful little bit of 90s nostalgia. What was your favorite level?
See, that's tough. I have 3 favorites. I'd have to say Ice Cap would be up there for sure. I loved Sonic snowboarding. That part was
awesome.
Fun. But I would also have to say Casinopolis, just, the pinball minigame was fun. Twinkle Park was also fun. Yeah,
I mean, with a lot of these levels, they offer so much little different things in each one. Like Casinopolis, you do the pinball stuff. Twinkle Park, you do the little racing game. Ice Cap Zone, you do the snowboarding section. Which, by the way, Ice Cap Zone back, baby. So cool.
Yeah.
And for me, my favorite level, I think, is Windy Valley. I think I like the design overall. I like Red Mountain a lot, especially with Sonic. I think for Tails, Windy Valley is really cool. Speed Highway is awesome.
Speed Highway is pretty damn good.
It's probably the most iconic Sonic level, and I feel like with Sonic, that is the best. Speed Highway is my favorite level. I can't lie.
Wow, you picking that over Ice Cap is pretty shocking.
Ice Cap in this game, I mean, the snowboarding section is cool, but it's a little bit too platformy for Sonic. Big's ridiculous, and Tails is fun. The snowboarding section's fun, but I just feel like it's not super Sonic-y. Right. It's a little too platformy for this game.
Fair enough.
Favorite boss?
Favorite boss, Chaos 4. The final Chaos form would probably have to be my favorite boss fight.
Perfect Chaos?
Yeah.
Perfect Cell?
Perfect Cell, another DBZ Sonic
My
connection.
only complaint about that boss fight is they kind of ruined it in a way where halfway through they're playing Open Your Heart, the theme of the game, and then you get halfway through the game and they switch to this kind of orchestral, like, intense boss music, and it kind of ruins it, whereas I feel like they just should have kept Open Your Heart for the entire time.
Or maybe just done the orchestra from the beginning on.
And then, well, you gotta have Open Your Heart, so it's such a good song.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I like Egg Viper. That's my favorite boss fight.
Egg Viper was a good boss fight.
All right.
What else? Is that it?
Yeah, let's get on to it. We're running a little long here. Let's get into our new segment, which is Rank That Sonic Theme, aka Rank That Crush 40 theme, because I think we only have one theme that isn't Crush 40, unless you count His World. And we're going to be taking all the themes from here, of all the 3D games from here on out, and pitting them against each other in another extra ranking list. And so this is Sonic Adventure 1's Open Your Heart by Crush 40. Obviously, it's going in at number 1. It is an awesome song, in my opinion. Joey, what do you think of this one?
I'd have to agree. Well, I mean, obviously started off at 1, but it's a good theme, and I enjoyed it a lot.
It's cool. And now,
I love themes when it comes to games.
Yeah. And now, it is time to rank the Sonic franchise.
Oh, joy.
Let me pull up the list right here. Number 1, Sonic 2. Number 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Number 3, Sonic 3. Number 4, Sonic CD. And number 5, Sonic 1. I think it's going to be below Sonic 1 for me. I'm I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I actually don't know where I'm going to put this. Where do you think? What do you think, Joey?
I would have to split this between Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 3 and put it at number 3.
Yeah, I think in my head, with how I want to do my rankings, and this is for me personally, not you, Joey, is what game would I want to pick up and play more so than the others? Obviously, Sonic 2 is going to be the default for the most part here. I love Sonic Adventure 1, and I feel like it is not like a better built game than Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, but I do like playing it a lot. But it does overstay its welcome in a lot of places where it's like you kind of just want to keep moving on, and some of the playthrough styles are just kind of like, let's just rush through this level and keep moving. So I think I'm going to agree with you. I think in between Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because I do think I'd rather pick up Sonic and Knuckles because it is something that is, a little bit more complete.
Really, they're the same game, just a little different.
Yeah, a little bit tighter. So, yeah, I agree. So, number 1, Sonic and 2. Sonic 2. Number 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Number 3, Sonic Adventure 1. Number 4, Sonic 3. Number 5, Sonic CD. And number 6, finally moving down, Sonic 1. Next week, we are doing Sonic Advanced 1. I know that Sonic Adventure 2 comes out before Sonic Advance 1, but we're going to be switching up from the 2D to 3D to keep it kind of interesting, and it'll be a lot faster for us to play through Sonic Advance 1 than Sonic Adventure 2.
It's true.
But yeah, we will see you next week. I promise you, we are going to be doing this weekly. We have no excuses now. I have no trips. I'm not going to get sick. We're going to finish this series on time.
We have a trip coming up.
Do you?
We do.
That's in like a month.
Still, it's coming up. But
that means we can get 4 episodes here, and we can do the first... Wait, okay, hang on. Before we end this off, looking at the calendar right now, next week, the 9th, if we do Sonic Advance 1, 16th, Sonic Adventure 2, 23rd, Sonic Advance 2, 30th, Sonic Heroes, the 7th... Oh, the 7th will be Sonic Advance 3?
Yes.
I don't think... I'm going to give us a week extra. And I'm going to say we are going to be doing, at some point when we're up in our trip, we're going to be doing a live Rank-A-Bone for you guys, where we're going to be reviewing Sonic Heroes live.
What? Sonic Heroes? What?
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 I think. Is that right? Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
it would be Sonic Heroes. I think. Because I don't want to do Sonic Advance 3, because that'd be kind of anticlimactic.
I
Although,
would be down for Sonic Heroes Live.
it would be interesting to do Shadow live.
Oh god.
Maybe, we'll see. We'll see what we get done. Yeah, next week, Sonic Advance 1 for the Game Boy. There is no official release for Sonic Advance 1 on anything else besides the Game Boy. So...
Gonna have to emulate it up.
No, well, yeah, it's who knows what we're gonna be doing. Maybe
I
we'll
did
go.
just find a Game Boy Advance SP.
Maybe we'll go get some cartridges and definitely somehow record that directly to a computer screen. We'll see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoyed. Goodbye.
Bye.